Now we'll be prepping our ribs for crispy ribs. We're using pork ribs, side pork ribs. Nothing fancy. We're not going to clean it up because we actually want the fat on the rib because we're going to actually be using the fat to cook the rib. That's actually what we're looking for. So the only thing I'm going to do is cut some of this stuff off. But this is not going to waste. We will actually be using this in the ribs. Remember, use caution when using knives. You do not want to go through your finger. You want to go through the ribs. But we're going to do individual portions. So, one bone, one rib. Alright guys, so we've chopped up our rack of ribs. And this is the hard part, okay? This is the one part you guys gotta pay attention to, because if you lose this part, you're done. We're gonna season. Salt, liberally. Put lots of salt on it. Toss it in there. Move it around, make sure everything is salted. And I'll explain why we use a lot of salt in a minute. Alright guys, and that is it for seasoning. You guys got that hardest part of the cooking process. Right there. Done. Alright guys, so we're gonna use any pot will work as long as it's a non-stick pot. Because remember, we are going to be building up a lot of fat in here. We're not using any extra fat. We're using the actual fat from the pork. Hence why you want a very fatty piece. This style of cooking can work for pork belly. For all my Filipino friends out there, if you want to do some lechon or chicharron, perfect. Alright guys, so we'll add it to my pan. We'll add it to my pan. Okay. Remember, this is all salted and seasoned. That's all you need. It's in the pan. Bring it over to your sink. Start with cold water. That is it. I say about 1.5 cups of water. Okay. Sorry guys. About 1.5 cups of water in here, and that's why you want to add salt liberally, because when you add the water you will lose a lot of that salt. Then we're going to take it over to the stove. And you want to start it on high heat. And let it do its thing. You leave it. Be patient. It's going to do its thing. It's going to start rendering all this fat. So at the end, all of this that is fat, that a lot of people are afraid of, this will actually render out. So remember, don't be afraid of fat. Fat is your friend. Alright guys. Once your ribs are on the stove, you cover them. They've been covered for about 5 minutes. You're gonna start seeing that. You're building steam. You want to cover them for the first 5 to 10 minutes to build that steam so you can start rendering that fat. Eventually, that fat, that water will start evaporating, and we'll be left with just lard. And the ribs are going to cook on their own fat with their own juices, saving the flavor. Alright guys? Now another reason why I mentioned to use cold water is because you want the water and the meat to be at the same temperature so you don't start creating bacteria if you start using warm water when you add the meat to the meat. you'll start creating a little bit of bacteria before it starts cooking. You want everything to start cooking at the same temperature. So it's been about 10 minutes since we put them on the stove. At this point, when you see the bubbling, uncover it. Okay? Uncover it. And now we let it cook and let the water evaporate. You bring down the heat till about 7, mid to mid-high, and you let the water evaporate, and you'll start seeing some magic in a couple of minutes. Alright guys.
Wait.
Alright guys, so it's been about 20 minutes. You want to give it one quick stir. And soon, see how the water is slowly evaporating and you're being left with just the fat. Eventually that'll be all fat and you're going to start getting some porky goodness. This is a game of being patient. Gotta let it do its thing. So this has been about half an hour. You can hear that. The water has evaporated. Now we're left with just the fat. And you can see some color starting on some of them. Some caramelization, natural sugars happening. Eventually we'll start pulling out some of them out that are ready because you don't want to get them overly brown. You just want to get a nice little crunch on them. Nice little crisp. But once you hear this sound, you know you're in the right path. Okay guys, so we're at the stage now where we can start pulling some out because we've already pulled some of them out here. This is what you want. You could get them a little crispier if you want. You know, you still want to have a little bit of a chew to them. You don't want to just turn it into pork rind either. So, you know, you can see here, still got a little bit of a give to it. You don't have to worry about anything not being cooked because remember, they've steamed, they've boiled, and now they're frying. So, no worries there. Start pulling some of them out. And this is what we call porky goodness right here. Okay. Okay guys, so now the ribs are done. We've pulled them off the stove and we're left with this, which is gold. This is gold. This is natural pork lard. You could use this for making warm vinaigrettes. You could do this, you could use this for refried beans if you're having Taco Tuesdays. You could use them for anything you want. This, you save it. You let it cool down and then you put it in a container, throw it in your fridge. It will literally keep for years in the fridge. So this is gold. Okay everyone, so we've pulled off the ribs. Ribs are done, they're off the flame. Right here is gold. This is natural pork lard, natural lard that you could use in many different dishes. You could do refried beans, you could fry stuff in this and not feel guilty about it because it's all natural. This, you let it cool down and you save it. Save it for later use. Hey everyone, now it's the finished product. Now it's time to try it. I'm going to go for a nice good one right here. A caveman wing, rib. Sorry, I said wing. Sorry, it's ribs. And we're gonna try it on its own first. See, it's still juicy, perfectly cooked. Mm. Yep. Give me a minute here. Oh yeah. Everyone, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like us, subscribe, hit the notification button, and follow us. Until the next time, keep the goodness going.